18th, 2020 at 7:03 p.m. Roll call, please.
Present.
Present.
Present. Present.
Present. Present.
Present.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Under public participation, would you two like to come forward?
Good evening. My name is Bailey Young, and I'm with Eli Hewitt, and we are from the Land of Lincoln CEO class. In case you're not familiar with CEO, it is a class offered through the high school and surrounding high schools that teaches, it's offered for juniors and seniors, and it teaches young adults how to successfully run a business and how to keep business local in your local community. And so every year, the class has three different businesses, a small business, a big business, and then each student personally has a business that they run on their own. And this year, our class's big business is a Decades Dance. It is on February 29th at the Knights of Columbus. You dress up in your favorite decade. The Knights of Columbus is catering. There's fried chicken and roast beef and some good sides, and desserts that are actually made by our CEO students that have their food handler's license. So there will be, the DJ is Kevin Curry. There is fun trivia throughout the night, and there's a silent auction. Tickets are $45, and they're sold on Eventbrite, and if you go there and search Lincoln, they should be the first to pop up. And Eli's going to explain why we're here.
So we're here because we want to get this more out into the community and stress to the leaders in our community, which is you, why this is important and why you should care about this. So the Land of Lincoln CEO program does 3 businesses every school year. This is the second of our third. The third will be our personal business. And basically what this business serves to do is to provide the necessary funds for our personal businesses, and those can help us with real life skills and just getting us out into the community. And yeah. Seth right here is my mentor, because we all have our own, each individual mentor, and this is just a really great program. And how many of you are familiar with the Land of Lincoln CEO program? Okay, so all of you. So I don't think, do you have any questions?
Mr. Conzo, did you?
I was just going to say, it looks like a great time. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you.
I think people should go.
Steve?
5:30 until
Whenever.
whenever.
Our DJ leaves at 11.
Yep.
All right.
Anybody else have any questions? Thank you guys very much.
Thank you for coming forward.
Thank
Yeah.
Do we have anyone else who would like to speak under public participation? Okay, then we'll move right down to the consent agenda. We have the payment of bills, approval of minutes, December 16, 2019, regular city council meeting, January 21st, 2020, regular city council meeting, February 11th, 2020, special voting session, and February 11th, 2020, committee of the whole meeting. Request from the Lincoln Park District to permit the closing of various city streets for a 5K run in conjunction with the Pigs and Swigs Festival on Saturday, June 6, 2020, from 8 a.m. until its conclusion, as well as the request from the VFW Post number 1756 to permit the use of Postville Park for the 2020 Route 66 garage sale from Friday, June 12th through Sunday, June 14th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Tracy made the motion. Kathy, I believe, seconded. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Under ordinance or resolutions, we have the resolution adopting amendment number 1 to the working budget for fiscal year 2019 through 2020.
So move.
Second.
Ron Keller made the motion. Tracy Welch seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Resolution proclaiming support for the referendum for the restoration of the historic Logan County Courthouse at the primary election, March 17th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Steve Parrott made the motion, Sam Down seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Ordinance amending Section 1-20-7 of the City Code pertaining to the duties and responsibilities of the city administrator.
Move to approve.
Second.
Jeff made the motion, Kathy Horn seconded. Discussion? Ron?
Thank you, Mayor. So in reviewing this ordinance in discussions with the city administrator, we have in the part where it discusses, whereas the city of Lincoln desires to amend the ordinance to eliminate direct oversight of the various city departments and act instead of an advisory role. And then in coordination with that, then the therefore, which would be number 2, the city administrator had voiced that she desires to certainly be involved in all of the operations of the city, and in removing the supervisory role to the mayor was a little concerned that she wanted language to be in there which would allow her to be apprised of all of the city activities. Wasn't sure if the ordinance had really articulated that well enough. So perhaps in the whereas, and then in the therefore, which would be number 2, where it says the city of Lincoln will amend the code to make the city administrator act in an advisory role for the department heads, and perhaps add something to the effect and being kept apprised of all city operations, comma, and then continue it. So I just throw that out for the consideration of the council.
Tracy?
I I don't have any concerns with this language. I think it's, in my opinion, it's understood that the city administrator is still going to need to be aware of things that go on within the city to perform the duties of her job. So I have no concerns with this amendment. And if we need to, I would make do we need to make a motion to amend it, an amended motion to include this language?
Yes. So
So I would make a motion to use the amended language that states being kept apprised of all city operations to that line in the resolution.
John?
So with the amendment for the exhibit being Exhibit A, there's 2 sections. There is subsection B, responsibilities to the city council, and there is subsection C, personnel. With the meetings that you're asking, essentially the prize of essentially that the city administrator will be able to attend any and all meetings involving the city. Are you wanting to put that within the responsibilities of the city council or the personnel section? Because not only will there be a need to be a whereas and whatnot, but there are the actual language which will go into the city code, which undoubtedly is the most important part. That will also need to be added as well.
I would be fine with that, but would that then fall under
Perhaps maybe subsection A, general
A.
duties.
yes, yes, yes?
Let's see here.
That would be probably still under number 1, if I'm looking at that correctly.
Which one are you on, please?
We're looking under this is now Exhibit A.
Looking at Exhibit A, 1-20-7A, general duties.
So, thank you, Mayor. So your recommendation then, Mr. Hoblet, is to incorporate that language as well into the ordinance, but as well as Exhibit A under general duties. Am I correct?
Correct. It doesn't appear that each of the subsections in particular deal with, like, say, for example, Part 1 deals with the city departments and whatnot. But if you're looking to have a blanket clause for the city administrator will attend potentially any or have the right to attend any and all meetings involving the city business, then perhaps maybe a subsection 8 would be more appropriate. That would essentially incorporate that language. That way you're not shoehorning in, like say Part 1 where it just talks about city departments, because if there's meetings or events that involve the city that she is entitled to attend, then, it might not necessarily apply there. So,
That makes sense.
understood.
So do we need to remove the motion on the floor in second?
I will withdraw my amended motion.
But even before that,
Ron, do you want to?
You're talking the original
yes,
first and second, the original motion? I don't know.
right. I think it was Jeff and Kathy.
Yeah, well, you gotta rescind
Yeah.
your second. I'll rescind the motion.
Okay, we have a new motion.
So the original motion then on the floor to include the language, and I guess we'd say being kept apprised of all city operations in the resolution, and as well a new subsection being placed in the duties, general duties. Go ahead. I don't know what language you want to specifically state on that.
Probably indicate in subsection 8, a new subsection that being, A8.
A8. Mhm.
Of 1-20-7,
Yep.
which would encapsulate or include language that the city administrator has the right to attend any and all meeting involving city business. If you guys want to have that big of a blanket on there for that, because that could be literally anything that involves city business, but I leave it to the discretion of the council. This is however you guys want to phrase it, or however you want to define the abilities of the city administrator. So, it better require one of you guys to essentially define that language and make that amendment, and then that amendment be voted on. And then because there's significant other issues involved within the ordinance, will require another amendment thereafter. Another vote thereafter, because unlike the ones we've done previously, there's significant differences between the amended version and what still remains to be voted on.
Tracy?
So, as much as I don't want to push this particular topic, I think we've talked about it quite a bit. I think it might be best if we table this and then allow John to put the language in there as he sees fit, and then bring it back to the next cow. I'd feel more comfortable voting on it using that approach.
Okay. So this time we will table this.
So we'll have to make a motion to table it.
I'll make a motion to table item 6C regarding the ordinance pertaining to the city administrator.
I'll second.
Okay, Jeff made the motion, Ron seconded. Is there any discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Okay, moving down to reports. Mr. Conzo.
Thank you, Mayor. You've all got copies of the monthly city treasurer's report for this month. Includes the balances on various accounts for last month. Nothing unusual there to report with regard to those. I will go through some of the tax receipts and revenue streams that we received during the past year, or during the past month, excuse me. You will notice with regard to the pension fund and the police pension fund and the fireman's pension funds, they both continued to grow. You can see we're been able to stay above 10,627,757 in the police pension fund, and $6,050,000 in the $108 in the fireman's pension fund. As you know, there is legislation that's been passed by the Illinois legislature and signed into law by the governor, which will consolidate the various police pension funds and will consolidate the various firemen's pension funds from around the state, with the exception of the city of Chicago, and they'll be administered through a central fund. People have asked about that, and we could talk about that till 10 o'clock tonight if you wanted to go into great detail. But the way this is going to work is there'll be a phase-in period on this, so you're not going to see this change overnight. There'll be a period where this is phased in. One of the first things that will happen is that the Department of Insurance, which is the department that regulates what we call Article 3 and Article 4 pension funds, which police and fire pension funds, they will do audits of every one of the funds that is being consolidated. There are 650 of those funds in the state of Illinois. So it's going to take a while. The plan is that this is going to be done in 3 years. We'll see what happens. But that's the plan, and that's the first phase of it is the auditing, and then there'll be consolidation of the funds. Local pension boards will still exist for the purpose of administration of benefits, admitting new police or police officers and firefighters into the various pension funds, and also approving applications for benefits when they retire, or applications for refunds in the case of people who leave before they've earned a pension. And we'll have plenty more to talk about with regard to that later. And looking at the and some of the attachments there, I do want to point out a couple of things. The sales tax, as you can see, we had a nice increase in the sales tax, state use tax receipts for the month of October, and that's received in January, increase of about 19,000 there, and we're well ahead. We're about 96,000 ahead of where we were last year at this point in time. The oddly enough, this rarely happens, but non-home rule sales tax actually is down slightly, not much, but the last couple of months it's been down a little bit from what it was actually over the last 4 months, and I don't know the reason for that. I'm going to inquire the Department of Revenue on that and make sure there isn't some error. Not that the state ever makes errors on things, but I will, inquire as to the possibility of that. It's not impossible that this would happen because there are things that are subject to the state and municipal sales tax that are not subject to the non-home rule sales tax. So if you had a lot of sales in those things that are exempt from the non-home rule sales tax but subject to the other sales tax, then you would see that, and it's possible that's the case here. The next one, the state income tax receipts. There again, you see now complete year for the calendar year 2019, and you can see where we are there. So that was about $157,000 increase. It reflects more people working statewide, and more people as a result paying federal and state, in this case state, income tax than where we were a year ago. It's a national trend that we've seen over the last 3.5 years, and the result of that is you see an increase in these tax receipts. And then finally, you've got the some things one thing that isn't particularly encouraging, the utility tax. You see that was down by about $18,000 over December of 2018, and you see we're down year to date on that as well by about $127,000. I want to keep beating this to death, but you all know that when the bottle factory closed and Kroger closed, we lost considerable revenue from that revenue stream. And then finally, the video gaming tax. You see there where there was a considerable increase in November, and we're looks like we're going to hit. Well, we are going to go over $300,000 on that for the first time since that was created in 2012. So you see that's a significant contribution to our general fund. And you see the results there for the entire year, except for December. We haven't received that yet. We should receive that within the next couple of months or a couple of weeks. I will point out there isn't an attachment or table for it, but if you look at the first page, that telecommunications tax for November, $17,000. That used to be pretty predictably a $20,000 to $22,000 per month tax, and that has gone down over the last year, really last couple of years, and I think a lot of it is a reflection of the fact that the people have done away with home telephones, and that's trend has continued downward as a result of that. And this is also a reflection of the fact that the tax laws haven't kept up to date with the shifts in the technology. I would expect at some point that will happen, but I wouldn't bet on when that might be. And that's all I have, unless there are questions.
Have any questions? Mr. Keller?
Thank you, Mayor. You had mentioned this before, but as we get closer to the budget, how are we, when it comes to our funding, where we need to be as far as the pensions? Or do we need to continue to make some significant adjustments when it comes to budgets?
Well, and that's hard to say because of this new legislation, but we have been following the practice for the last 3 years now. We continue to do this. 4 years of putting about $200,000 in the two pensions combined. I would like to see us increase that by about $25,000 per fund. Even though the state's going to consolidate this, I'm glad you brought that up, Alderman Keller, because when that happens, it'll be like the IMRF, and the state will say, this is what you need to send us this month, and there won't be any room for underfunding at that point. So the further ahead we get, I think the better off we are.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions or discussion? Thank you, Mr. Kondo. Mrs. Landers?
For the month of January, the sewer department received $581,437.11. The sewer department received $581,437.11. And the prisons both paid $123,316.15.
Does anyone have any questions? Thank you very much. Department reports either on file or will be shortly. Moving down to new business and communications, we have the approval of $3,500 pledge of support for the Mission Lincoln 2021 Home Repair Work Camp Project.
So moved.
Second.
Tracy made the motion. Kathy Horn seconded. Discussion? Mr. Keller.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to remind the council, a couple weeks ago when Mr. Henry was here, he mentioned this, but I think it's probably worth mentioning that Mission Lincoln 2021 is the sponsoring organization, but they needed to have a repository for all the funds they're receiving, so that is Lincoln Christian Church. So when Mission Lincoln 2021 receives a check, it will be going to Lincoln Christian Church, but but the fund is separate for Lincoln Mission 2021. It is not going into the general fund for the church. So if there's any questions about that, I thought I would make that sure that's clarified before the check is dispersed, that it is going strictly to them, even though it will say Lincoln Christian Church.
Any questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Horn? Yes.
Mr. Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Heineke?
Yes.
Approval of application for grant from the Department of Justice COPS hiring program to fund 75% of a police officer's salary and benefits for the purpose of investigating violent crimes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Jeff made the motion and Ron seconded. Discussion? Steve?
I believe I asked this last time. So 75%, then the city's going to be responsible for the other quarter?
Yes, that's correct.
And this is for how long?
The grant period is 3 years, so they'll give us funds for 3 years.
And then on the fourth year, then what happens?
The fourth year, then the city will need to pick up the other 75%.
Including, so the full
Yeah,
cost of
essentially, yeah, we'll have
the full cost of
cost
another
of it. Yep.
officer. Okay, thank you.
Other questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Heineke?
Yes.
Mrs. Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Downs?
Yes.
Approval of franchise agreement between Comcast and the City of Lincoln.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Tracy made the motion, Jeff seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Heinecke?
Yes.
Mrs. Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Downs?
Yes.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Beth, do you have a comment?
I just wanted to announce that Libby Stein-Tumulty from Comcast is in the audience. And did you have anything to say, or we appreciated working with you on this?
The only thing I'll say is that, I think my director and I, Deb Piscola, we had several meetings with Elizabeth and her team, which included Tracy and Paul and Peggy and the city attorney, and I think we addressed all the issues, or I believe you all felt we did. And I know the one thing that was a big concern was the term, and Comcast did compromise on a 4-year term. So I think the agreement is both mutually acceptable for us as well as the city of Lincoln. So I appreciate all your time and working with us through this.
Mr. Condo, you have?
Thank you, Mary. I just have a question. Previously, at the end of the year, Comcast would send out information sheets that had the listed the channels in each package that you could buy, and it was also posted on the website because I know it changes throughout the year, and you would expect that. But I noticed now they don't do that anymore, and when you go they haven't sent it out since I think December of 2018. And when you go on the website, you put in your address and it says to call and talk to somebody. Is there some way they can put this either in print or on the website or someplace where you can view it without?
We do have a printed version, and I did send it after our last meeting. Elizabeth requested it, so I sent her a PDF file of it to distribute to everybody. So she has it. It's the most current one.
I did, but I'm just concerned about how's the public going to see that? I mean,
The emergency numbers to call?
no, just
All
the channel lineups for the
Maybe
different.
we could put that on our website, maybe.
It
what do you
should
think?
be on our website. I'll check that. 'cause
Okay,
it
you'll
should
check
be-
it
They
and-
should be able to key in their address, and then it should go to the channel item, and it's the same in Lincoln and Logan County. It should be, they should be able to go to a channel lineup link, and it should take them to
Okay.
that.
Yeah, it always had been for years, and I noticed that changed a few months ago.
Okay, I'll
Unless
check.
it's changed back, and I haven't.
Okay, I'll check on that, because they should
Thank
be
you.
able to do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Any
All
other
right,
questions?
thank you.
Thank you very much. Approval of invoice from the Union Pacific Railroad in the amount of $3,637.68.
So we're making that correction. Okay, go ahead. Okay, city clerk added these up and they didn't come out right, so she asked to have a rebill sent. And so we were changing, what I just had in front of me. Yeah. Oh, I put the Comcast. Yes, and this was to Olson. He is a contractor with Union Pacific Railroad, and that's what they've been doing. They've been contracting out these jobs that they had employed the individuals before, and now they are contracting. So that was for an invoice for $3,626.41 that came in. And then we also were asking, here it is right here, I've got that right there. And then the other one we were asking for was to add also to Union Pacific Railroad was the $807.53 that came in just on February 14th after we had done the agenda. If we get those two taken care of, I think that's what we need, don't you believe? I think that those two would be taken care of, would be caught up if the council wants to do that.
So just verify you got $36.26.41
Yes.
and $807.53.
Correct, and the 807.53 goes to Union Pacific Railroad.
Joe?
So we almost need two different motions because they're two different companies, two different checks are being written? Is that correct, or?
Yes, it was for the same day, same,
work.
yes, right.
But we're sending two different checks to
Sure.
two different companies, so.
However you want.
I think we need some clarification on this, though, because I got to looking at this document that Julie sent out on Peggy's behalf, and if you look at this invoice that was sent, all of the labor adds up to $1,275.19. Then there's a section in here called overhead/fixed fee. The overhead is 170.84% of the labor fee, which is another $2,178.53. What is the overhead fee for? And there's a fixed fee. What is that for?
I don't know. I did want to mention that Julie Ship, who is our design engineer, who has worked with me with the Union Pacific Railroad as well as with Olson, is pursuing with the Illinois Commerce Commission to have clarification on the last bill that we received. So we might throw all those in then, I guess, if that's what you want to get better clarification. Because these were set up, it looks like it says through Clay Johnson. So these were preset, already decided upon, but they resubmitted a new bill to us, and it was more than what the original estimation had been several years back. So I know due to escalating fees and things, that would increase that. But anyway, she is in the process of finding out from the ICC about that bill. So if we'd like to add all of these together and ask the ICC to look them over, we could. I don't understand. I don't know where the fixed, if any of you that were on the council way back when we first started our initial work with the Union Pacific Railroad. I think that was back in 2013, I think, maybe.
13, probably.
So,
Well, I can't speak for everybody else. I can only speak for myself, but if we don't have any clarification on what the overhead fee is for, or the fixed fee, then I'll be a no vote tonight on this.
all right. I will pursue it if that's what everyone wants.
Does anyone else have any comment?
Do we need to table this item?
So do you want to table it until we have, so do we have a motion to table it?
I'd make a motion to table.
Second.
Tracy made the motion, Ron seconded. Is there any discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Heinecke?
Yes.
Mrs. Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Downs?
Yes.
Under announcements? Kathy?
Yes. I want to congratulate the West Lincoln Broadwell 7th grade boys and their coaches. They won state by 1 point. It was a terrific game. All the games they won have been by 1 point, and it's really been a terrific season for them.
Awesome. Very good. Congratulations. Did you have one, Trey?
I didn't, but I think I'll take a minute to just thank Chief Donofsky and his crew and everybody else that was involved in the fire that took place last week on 9th Street. I happen to live down the street from there, so I went down there, and Chief took me around the site, and I have to say those guys were in some really horrible working conditions. You could just see the water freezing on their uniforms as they were working. And FEMA brought in the trailer, gave food, drinks to the guys. It was just a very well organized effort to solve that issue that they were facing. So I just want to say thanks to your guys for a job well done.
I appreciate that, and I'm going to piggyback off of that a little bit. EMA did come out with the sheriff. They set up a warming trailer for us, which is something that Sheriff Landers has been working on, utilizing his assets. It's available to everybody in the county. Also, Walt Wes, Paul, they all played key roles in things that we needed to get done and their crews. Atlanta, Mount Pulaski, Lincoln Rural were all there. We probably had, I don't have a total count yet, but probably 35 to 45 firemen on scene. Plus our duty crew and our off-duty guys that came in. Kurt Wentland stepped up from Lincoln College, heard we were having a fire. His dad, before he passed away, Warren, would always come out and bring coffee and donuts and stuff like that. But Kurt brought out some hot sandwiches, soup, chili, coffee, hot chocolate, things like that kept the guys going. There was even a girl from Pizza Hut that brought out a stack of pizzas. I don't know what her name is, but thank you to her. FS, Jerry Benniger came out with fuel for the trucks. He's on call for us. Keith Brooks from FAST came out. We had a problem with one of the trucks. He fixed it on scene and got it back to the garage so we could thaw it out. Scott Goodman working on the demolition. And also Alderman Welch came out to check on us, Mayor Goodman, and State's Attorney Hauge. I encourage anybody, when you hear of an event like that going on, you can come out to the scene, any of the aldermen. Once things settle down and chill out some, I can give you a walk around, show you what we're doing. The conditions that night were horrible. The job that we do always, it never seems like it's a perfect weather condition for us. It always hits us at the wrong time. So everybody that I mentioned, everybody that I forgot to mention, it's a concerted group effort. It takes a lot of coordination. And we were there from 2:30 in the afternoon till 10:30 the next morning. So thank you to everybody involved.
Steve?
I was out at a conference that Thursday and Friday, and I got back Friday late in the afternoon, and that house was still well under being taken down and almost gone. I was amazed how quick it went. So kudos to everyone that was involved. Thank you.
Do we have other announcements? Yep.
We have a Comcast. Fire Chief, this is for you. Xfinity TV channel updates, and it says approximately 7 o'clock Eastern Time on Wednesday, February 7th, not Wednesday, February 7th, 2020. You're not going to be able to provide the programming for the North American distributors for the Xfinity TV changes. So the NDTV Good Times.
Great. Do you have any other? Okay, I have one that was brought to my attention this afternoon. Also, kind of what Kathy said, the Lincoln Community High School Raelettes won the 2020 Illinois Drill Team Association AA Palm State Champion this past weekend. So, congratulations to them.
First time in history.
First time in history. Yes. And Brandy Montgomery, I believe, is the...
She's the coach, but she's retiring this year. I'm sure they're going to be sad to see her go.
Well, great for her and for all her people, so that's awesome. Very good. Did you have anything else for that? No. Anyway, any other announcements? Next week I will be gone, so Tracy, good luck to you. It's all yours. We have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Okay, we're going to say Ron made the motion, Steve second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting is adjourned at 7:42 p.m.
Much better.
Yes.